A standing ovation from the 20,000-strong crowd. Joining us now, some of Fitzroy's most loyal supporters and fans, Rick Treadwell and Jason Page at the Fitzroy pub. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Steve.
Jason, you and Rick and a lot of other people watched the Roy's last game in the pub yesterday. Give me a sense of what it was like. I mean, 113 years history, 8 premierships, and yesterday, final whistle, it's all over.
Well, we had a good crowd yesterday, probably about 300 people, and it was very sad, actually, very sad, especially all the way over there, over at Fremantle. It should have been here. I think there's a lot of, still bad feeling of the AFL here, and I think it's, with the supporters and all that, they will have those bad feelings for a long time.
Yeah.
But very emotional, very emotional.
Rick, I guess some supporters will say, yes, it's the end of Fitzroy. It's a takeover. It's not a merger. I mean, the spirit, the club doesn't continue on in a different form. How do you see it?
I think as of today, Fitzroy ceased to exist, and it's probably it is a takeover possibly, and it's a new beginning for the Lions, not Fitzroy, but for the Brisbane Lions. It's a new beginning.
Yeah,
I think Brisbane are the big winners.
Yeah, Jason,
Yeah.
Do you think the AFL should have done more to save Fitzroy?
Well, they announced them so they've got such a professional sort of league or AFL, whatever it is nowadays, but really what's happened, they really sold them out. They really were sold out, and at the end, they just were brushed aside, and they lost out on everything. They couldn't play their own home game here, and it was shocking, and
yeah.
I don't think it was very professionally ran right to the end.
Rick, let's bring this back to personal terms. As a long-time Fitzroy fan, who do you follow now? Or don't you follow anyone?
I think it's too early to tell you. You've got to wait till the first game. Like, as it stands, like yesterday, football was still alive. You've got to wait till they run out into the ground next year. Mm-hmm. And then I suppose when they run out on the ground and they run out in Fitzroy's colours, I think that puts a different perspective on it. Whether you're going to go for them or not's another thing. I think it's one of those things you really have to wait and see.
Yeah, and Jason, do you think that's the way fans generally are thinking? They're sort of keeping their options open?
I think a lot of fans, with the hype and everything that was happening, I think a lot of them don't want to support it.
Yeah.
They're still for the North Melbourne bid, and I think Fitzroy need to win a few games maybe as a Brisbane Lions, and then a lot of people do jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
A bit like the Sydney thing, I think, where a lot of the old-time South Melbourne supporters have now come back out and is openly supporting Sydney, and Sydney are getting a lot of support in Melbourne. It's taken 10 years,
yeah,
but success has brought back a lot of those South Melbourne people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick, I mean, some people would say that yesterday was a long time coming, that the club's been struggling to survive for years now. In a sense, are you glad it's all over?
Well, not myself personally, but I'm sure, having spoken to a lot of the players, I know that they're very relieved. I mean, they've been under enormous pressure, and so not myself personally or the supporters here this morning, but yeah, certainly the players.
Yeah.
Jace, give me an opinion as just someone who loves Australian rules. I mean, the AFL strategy is to reduce the number of clubs, to nationalise the game, to take it into a new century. But in a sense, some people would say, yeah, but in the process, they're destroying the game.
And they are destroying a lot of good clubs, and well, you look at Fitzroy, how it's taken them 10 years to remove them from the AFL, and Hawthorn and other teams who like over by night sort of things. It's taken 2 months, so it says a lot to Fitzroy supporters, but they are stepping on the small people sort of thing, and they've really, a lot of other teams probably need to take that big step into the AFL, and a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
And it is a bit sad the way it's gone. I think they could have probably got a bit more of a cuddle maybe, but they didn't.
Yeah, so now we've got a situation where, I think I'm right in saying, for the first time in the game's history, there will not be a qualifying final played in Melbourne on Saturday.
That's correct.
Yeah, only one final out of for 3 games.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing too, Steve, is that Fitzroy people, as the ones behind us and that prove, they are the most loyal supporters you could get.
Oh, yeah.
They're real football people. They sit in the outer, they don't sit in the super boxes, they don't sit behind glass, they actually get out there, they buy membership tickets, they sell raffle tickets, and they're the real diehards, and they're the grassroots people that the AFL possibly are going to lose.
Well, if they do, it's sad, and it's sad for Fitzroy. Guys, nice to talk with you this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks for
you.
your time.